Very happy to hear that we get a temporary park back in place for them. That's all I got, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Vice Mayor Webb.
Joe, could I get an update on the paving of Atkinson Drive? Do you have any new news on that?
Tommy here? Oh, I'll answer. Yeah, it's on the list to pave. We have one more paving to do. It includes Highland Drive that we've been waiting on.
Is that coming up? Oh
What's that?
gosh, that guy just texted me. I was fixing to break it up.
Yeah, so
Okay.
Highland Drive, doing a thin coat on Atkinson, doing something at Frontage, and I know I'm missing something. Those are the ones that, and doing Tinsley Park, and I think maybe First Street, paving First Street, because those are all on the list for when they come in November to knock those out.
Okay, good.
And Highland Drive, excuse me, Mayor.
Mr. Councilman
Highland
May.
Drive, is that in my district or is that in Councilman
It's in
Estes'
Marsh
district?
McKenzie's.
Marshalls.
Yeah.
Right behind Dodge.
Highland Southeast. Yeah.
On Southeast?
Yeah,
Yeah.
southeast.
Tommy, we just gave you some paving.
Sorry, Dave. Highland Drive southeast, Tommy. That guy's just
I
literally
can't
just
get any
texted me.
payment.
Yeah.
Holland Drive Southeast.
Back behind old Kyle Dodge.
Okay.
You know, we're
I
gonna
thought it
pave
was
when we
in
pave Smith Drive.
my
We're
buddy
not paving
Phil.
the
did.
I'm trying to get my
If it's a sidewalk, he's
All
gonna
right.
get it.
Anything else,
Yes.
Vice Mayor?
sidewalk.
Under the consent agenda, we had an item dealing with the paving of Mouse Creek Road. I don't know what the timeline is on that, but my question is, we have talked about some left turn lanes at certain intersections out there. Will we do those before the paving?
Yeah, so I was actually gonna mention that and I held off. Is that item is, it's about a 2-year windup. It's the same type of paving as with Paul Huff.
Gotcha.
The good thing is that the state will pave all the way from the soccer complex all the way to Keith Street. But what that does is it puts us on the clock that we need to have all of our widening done. We need to have our intersections, our widened or the extra turn lane in there through all of that. So with the passage of that, we are on the clock to start with what the council's direction was in the spring, to get all of those changes done. And then when we get all those done, then we'll go and pave everything out.
Okay, good, good. One other item there. This is a picture at the intersection of Mouse Creek Road and Huff Parkway, the new intersection, which really, really looks great. But that one island has never been taken care of. Is there something we're waiting on, or is it just an oversight?
My understanding was that we're waiting on Cleveland Utilities to put in a pedestrian signal or the thing for that, is that right?
Yes,
Could we ask them when they're gonna do it?
I think it's been installed now. We're waiting on the concrete crew to come and finish up there. We got some sidewalks still to do there and that aisle.
Okay.
Yeah, so, they did, but that's what we had been waiting for, was
Yeah.
them to do that. They probably did that in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Okay, thank you. That's all, Mayor.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Mr. Fivas, I had a follow-up to Vice Mayor Webb's question about the Mouse Creek. He asked about turn lanes. Does that also include the closure of the creeks when you say widening? We had talked about that early on, closing some of the creeks and taking some of the shoulder and making it safer along?
Yes, it's the widening.
Great.
Going 3 or 4 feet out.
Perfect.
On the whole stretch, and then piping where we can, where the ditches are,
Right.
and then widening it out. It'll make it a better ride. You may have curb and some other, there's some obviously some complexity out there, but we'll just do a lot of stormwater. We did something really similar out on Blythe Ferry Road. It was much
Right.
smaller area. You remember that, David? And that really helped that situation on Blythe
Great.
Ferry. But like I said, we're on the clock and we have to, figure out how to, incrementally. My guess is, we'll do 100 feet. You'll probably start at the low end, is that right, Jonathan?
Yes, sir.
And work your way back. So you'll probably start down at Mohawk and work your way upstream with the water, because it all comes downstream.
Great, thank you, sir. We will end our council reports. Oh, sorry, Councilor Casta.
Real quick. Joe, you said we're on the clock with that project. What's the time frame on that with the state? What would it, they put a,
What, which project are we
the
talking about?
Mouse Creek project for them to pay it?
Well, this is the MPO program that we paved, Paul Huff. Paul Huff's probably a little more complicated.
Okay.
It will probably take about 2 years to get that funding all the way through. The
Okay.
benefit of that, it's probably, I don't know, Robert, $3 million project?
It comes in, yeah, a little under,
A little under, do you know what it is?
2.6 at the moment.
Yeah, it's 2.6, and the reason we do it that way is because we pay 20% of that 2.6. And by the time we get it, it'll probably be 3 million.
Okay. All right, thank you. That's it, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. We'll end with Councilman at Large, Mr. Moore.
I do not, because every one of my notes were crossed off during your comments.
That's
so,
fantastic.
good job, Councilman.
Thank you, sir. The last shall be first. Takes us to number 10 on the agenda, which is new business and ordinances. Item 10A, ordinance 2025-54, concerning a request by Lee University for consideration of an ordinance to abandon a portion of 4th Street Northeast located between Trunk Street Northeast and Parker Street Northeast. This was approved by the Planning Commission 9-0 and does require a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Proper motion by Councilman May, properly seconded by Councilman Goff. Any additional comments?
Christie, before we vote, I need to declare a direct conflict of interest, but I will be voting.
Any additional comments, questions, or declarations before we vote? Mr. Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman May,
Aye.
Councilman Goff,
Aye.
Councilwoman McKenzie. Aye. Councilman Estes.
Aye.
Councilman Cassidy.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Webb.
Aye.
Councilman Moore. Aye. Carries 7-0.
Thanks, Mr. Clerk. That motion passes. Item B, Resolution 2025-90, concerning a request by Prayer Bacon and Sam Bruner for consideration of a plan of service for 5.75 acres of property located at Frontage Road. Tax map 14, Planning Commission approved 9-0. It does require a motion from this council.
So moved.
Proper motion by Vice Mayor Ken Webb. Is there a second?
Second.
Properly seconded by Councilman Cassidy. Any additional comments?
I have one question for Robert.
Mr. Estes, you're recognized.
It goes CH. Can you have to come up? Can they do everything they want to do with CH, or would they come back to us possibly with a PUD?
No, I think this is it.
This is it? Okay. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you, Councilman. Any additional comments, questions, or concerns? Mr. Clerk, please take the roll.
Vice Mayor Webb.
Aye.
Councilman Cassidy.
Aye.
Councilwoman McKenzie. Aye. Councilman Estes.
Aye.
Councilman May.
Aye.
Councilman Goff.
Aye.
Councilman Moore.
Aye.
Carries 7-0.
Thanks, Mr. Clerk. That motion passes. Item C, Resolution 2025-91, concerning a request by Prior Bacon and Sam Bruner for consideration of a resolution to annex 5.75 acres of property located at Frontage Road. Planning Commission approved 9-0. It does require a motion today from this council.
So moved.
Proper motion by Councilman Estes. Is there a second?
Second.
Properly seconded by Councilman May. Any additional comments, questions, or concerns? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman Estes.
Aye.
Councilman May.
Aye.
Councilwoman McKenzie. Aye. Councilman Cassidy.
Aye.
Councilman Goff.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Webb.
Aye.
Councilman Moore.
Aye.
Carries 7-0.
Thanks, Mr. Clerk. That motion passes. Takes us to item D, zoning ordinance 2025-55, concerning a request by Prior Bacon and Sam Bruner for consideration of an ordinance to zone 5.57 acres of property located at Frontage Road from FAR unincorporated to CH Highway Commercial. Was approved by the Planning Commission 9-0. It does require a motion today from this council.
So moved.
Proper motion by Councilman Goff. Is there a second?
Second.
Properly seconded by Councilman May. Any additional comments, questions, or concerns from this council? Mr. Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Goff.
Aye.
Councilman May.
Aye.
Councilwoman McKenzie. Councilman Estes.
Aye.
Councilman Cassidy.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Webb.
Aye.
Councilman Moore.
Aye.
Carries 7-0.
Thanks, Mr. Clerk. That motion passes. Item E, zoning ordinance 2025-56, concerning a request by Zhu Ching Chen for consideration of an ordinance to zone .20 acres of property located at Lacey Street from CH Highway Commercial to R2 Low Density Single and Multifamily Zoning District. This was approved by the Planning Commission 9-0. It does require a motion today from this council.
So moved.
Second.
Proper motion by Councilman May, properly seconded by Councilman Goff. Mr. Estes?
Christie, I'd ask you put in the minutes, I'm requesting Ms. Chen to have the actual residential part of her property also rezoned from commercial highway to match the R2 that we're about to approve here. Because we're the people, because it's an anomaly, and let's fix, I'm just requesting that she fix all of her property, not just this one part that she wants to add on to. That's all, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman. We have a proper motion by Councilman May, properly seconded by Councilman Goff. Any additional comments, questions, or concerns? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman May.
Aye.
Councilman Goff.
Aye.
Councilwoman McKenzie. Councilman Estes.
Aye.
Councilman Cassidy.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Webb.
Aye.
Councilman Moore.
Aye.
Carries 7-0.
Thanks, Mr. Clerk. That motion passes. Item F, zoning ordinance 2025-57, concerning a request by Kim Randolph for consideration of an ordinance to zone .33 acres of property located at Fletcher Road Northwest from CG General Commercial to R2 Low Density Single and Multifamily Zoning. It was approved by the Planning Commission 9-0 and does require a motion today from this council.
So moved.
Proper motion by Vice Mayor Webb. I heard the second from Councilwoman McKenzie, if that's okay. Councilman Moore. Proper motion, properly seconded. Any comments, questions, or concerns? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Vice Mayor Webb.
Aye.
Councilwoman McKenzie. Aye. Councilman Estes.
Aye.
Councilman Cassidy.
Aye.
Councilman May.
Aye.
Councilman Goff.
Aye.
Councilman Moore.
Aye.
Carries 7-0.
Thanks very much, Mr. Clerk. That motion passes. Takes us to item G. It's ordinance 2025-58, amending the Cleveland Municipal Code, Title 14, Chapter 10, Flood Hazard Reduction Ordinance to delete the current language located in Title 14, Chapter 10, Flood Hazard Reduction Ordinance, and replace it with updated language regulating development within the city limits to minimize danger to life and property due to flooding as adopted and approved by FEMA. Approved by the Planning Commission 8-0.
So moved.
Proper motion by Councilman Cassidy. Is there a second?
Second.
Properly seconded by Councilman May. Any additional comments, questions, or concerns? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman Cassidy.
Aye.
Councilman May.
Aye.
Councilwoman McKenzie. Councilman Estes.
Aye.
Councilman Goff.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Webb.
Aye.
Councilman Moore. Carries 7-0.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. That motion passes. Item H, 2025-59, concerning a request by the City of Cleveland for consideration to amend Cleveland TN Zoning Ordinance Appendix C, Sections 521E, 521J5, 521K, 522C, 522F, and 522H, concerning signage standards, illumination, heights, numbers of allowed signs, and definitions, approved by the Planning Commission 8-0. Does require a motion from this council.
So moved.
Proper motion by Councilman May. Is there a second?
Second.
Properly seconded by Vice Mayor Webb. Any additional comments, questions, or concerns? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman May.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Webb.
Aye.
Councilwoman McKenzie. Councilman Estes.
Aye.
Councilman Cassidy.
Aye.
Councilman Goff.
Aye.
Councilman Moore.
Aye.
Carries 7-0.
Thanks, Mr. Clerk. That motion passes. Item I, Resolution 2025-88, authorizing the mayor to sign an agreement with Sports Facilities Development, LLC, for professional consulting services in connection with the planning, design, construction, and procurement of the Cleveland Sports Complex. This does require a motion from this council.
So moved.
Proper motion by Councilman Cassidy. Is there a second?
Second.
Properly seconded by Vice Mayor Webb. Any additional comments, questions, or concerns from the council? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman Cassidy.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Webb.
Aye.
Councilwoman McKenzie. Councilman Estes.
Aye.
Councilman May.
Aye.
Councilman Goff.
Aye.
Councilman Moore. Carries 7-0.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. That motion passes. Item J, authorizing an appropriation of $100,000 to the Five Points Museum to assist in building a new amphitheater behind the museum facility. Funds to be distributed over 4 fiscal years, beginning in fiscal year '26, contingent upon the Chamber of Commerce and Bradley County both participating. This does require a motion from this council.
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Cassidy. Is there a second?
Second.
Properly seconded by Councilman Estes. Any additional comments, questions, or concerns? Vice Mayor.
I just had one question, and I agree with the motion. But when we say contingent upon the Chamber and Bradley County participating, is that at the same amount each?
That is my understanding of the intent of the motion, Mr. Fivas.
It's just all conceptual. It's for you guys to work through. If you want it at the same amount, then that's fine. If you want a different amount, that's just one of the conversations, or have no language that has any of that. It's
Contingency can be removed.
contingency can be moved. There's nothing more than putting that on the table.
What?
I believe the chamber has already committed.
The chamber has already committed $100,000.
So they've already committed the same amount?
Chamber has.
Yeah,
The
same
chamber
amount,
has.
yeah.
All right, we have a proper motion by Cassidy, properly seconded by Estes. We've had some discussion and deliberation. Any additional questions, Mr. Fivas?
Just make sure everyone reread what the motion is, just to make sure that everyone conceptually understands that. I mean, I don't.
Certainly, as of this moment, there have been no changes to the motion as it was presented. The motion is authorizing an appropriation of $100,000 to the Five Points Museum to assist in building a new amphitheater behind the museum facility. Funds to be distributed for over 4 fiscal years, beginning in FY '26, contingent upon Chamber of Commerce and Bradley County both participating.
Do we know if Bradley County is going to participate? Because it says contingent upon it. And when would we know that?
Mr. Fivas?
We've had a number of conversations with them. They have not committed yet on that, and I don't really want to speak for them at this.
It says contingent upon it, so if they didn't decide to do this, then does that mean it would be void for us as well? I'm just wondering.
Unless you came back and changed it.
Councilman Cassidy, you have a request to
Yes,
amendment?
Mayor, I'd like to, my official request a motion, I would like to strike contingency upon. I'd like to strike that off of there.
I like it as a second.
All right, that is a substitute motion. That's actually a substitute, not an amendment, and that is a, no, that's fine, that's fine. That's a substitute motion, so that's been seconded by Councilman Estes. So the new motion is striking the contingency last sentence. So the new motion simply is authorizing an appropriation of $100,000 to the Five Points Museum to assist in building a new amphitheater behind the museum. Facility funds to be distributed over 4 fiscal years beginning in FY '26. That is a proper substitute motion by Cassidy, properly seconded by Estes. Any additional comments, questions, or concerns? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman Cassidy.
Aye.
Councilman Estes.
Aye.
Councilwoman McKenzie.
No.
Councilman May.
Aye.
Councilman Goff.
No.
Vice Mayor Webb.
Aye.
Councilman Moore.
No.
Carries 4-3.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Clerk. That motion passes. Takes us to item K. Emergency Shelter Funding Assistance is in your packets on pages 205 to 206. Mr. Fivas, did you have any additional explanation?
for the emergency shelter. This is an item, and Kathy Andrews can help me with this, if possible, is that you have the Bradley County Cleveland Community Services Agency annually receives generally $125,000 from the state, which is actually federal money, to operate the homeless shelter. We met with Demetrius, asked, well, what, if if we don't do anything, what impact is it? And he said, well, we'd have to cut hours, we'd probably reduce our staff, we would probably reduce our programs. And, basically he said, we'll figure it out, but there will be reductions in the program. At that point, we went to the county and talked to Mayor Davis. And certainly Mayor Davis doesn't speak for the commission, so I'm not saying the county in general supports this. But he indicated that they have about $90,000 in ARPA money that they would like to spend that's already been allocated for homeless shelter ideas. Is that they could, option one is they could put $90,000 in, and then we would put $35,000 in for covering the $125,000. We would be left to make up for the money that the county had, which was for design for the new future homeless shelter for design. So the rest of that would all be on us to be able to fund all that. The second option is that we just split it $62,500 between the county and the city. They would still have some ARPA money to spend, and we would be matching whatever. Each option is the same total amount of money, likely. But one allows them to spend their ARPA money to get it off their books because that deadline is coming up.
Mayor, I move that we present to the county both options for their choosing as presented by Mr. Fivas just now and at the work session and on page 205 of our packet.
Certainly. That is a proper motion by Councilman Estes. Is there a second?
Second.
Properly seconded by Councilman Goff. Any additional comments, questions, or concerns from the council for those two options to be presented as the motion states? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman Estes?
Aye.
Councilman Goff?
Aye.
Councilwoman McKenzie? Councilman Cassidy?
Aye.
Councilman May?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Webb?
Aye.
Councilman Moore?
Aye.
Carries 7-0.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. That motion passes. It takes us to item L for compensation study longevity disbursement date. It's in your packets, 207 to 208, and was discussed today at the strategic planning session. Mr. Fivas, did you have any comments regarding the motion?
No, we can pull it up on the board again. I mean, there's you've seen the 5 options that have been put forward. One is fixing the compression in the higher ranks for the police and the fire department. I think that's not really even an option. I think that that's something that we're obligated to do either way that we go. I think in working with Chief Bates, I think we're probably really close to getting a lot of the issues than $2,000 worked out. Second option is putting the options for the doing the fire and class career parity, plus increasing the police pay up to $55,000 starting, and we discussed is that that at 55, that full-time officer that comes in, if they work all of their shifts and don't get any overtime, they would make about $59,100 at that number. I'm not saying it's a conversation on what is the actual number. Is it 55 or 59? But just know that employee that comes in that works for us would make, if they worked all their shifts with no overtime, would make $59,100. Third option is, I can't even see my own. Third option is basically raising, right now, employees are at 50% of what the market is. We had a long conversation about our benefits. This would raise the market for employees up to 70% across the board, police, fire, and everybody. And that number is $1.16 million additional funds, and that's on top of the 1.25 that we've done. So that would be an additional 2.4 million dollars of new money allocated moving forward. I think you have, if you're going to break it down for pennies, there's a number up there. Option number 4 is similar, but for general city employees, that you would have the hybrid option included for the general city employee career parity for police and fire, plus the 70% for all employees. And that number is, for some reason that red is tricky for me to read across the room. That number is $1.5 million, so that would be 1.5, it'd be a total of $2.74 million of new money allocated with the whole compensation study to employees. And then you have option 5, which is, as we talked about, the pay schedules for the fire department. We've had a lot of very engaging conversations. I think there's a lot of validity to a lot of that. Option number 5, we would need more time to work through. Option number 5 probably could be more expensive depending on how you did that. You need to do the whole organization, not necessarily. But we probably would need more time to really vet this out and show you what that is. So we gave you those 5 options. I recommended that we really have to explore in the future of how to get employees up to use option 3 or 4. I think that there's, you can phase it in, you can go and do it all at once, but I think that's an important conversation. I think it's inevitable that what we're seeing in the market, primarily for police departments and maybe for fire departments too, but primarily for police departments are seeing escalation in their pay. We have lost a lot of new police officers in more than 3 years for pay reasons. And some of that is because you have the TBI and you have all the other federal agencies hiring at much higher than what we're doing, and we're just not competitive with that. And you've seen Hamilton County, you've seen Chattanooga go up. I think that we will continue to lose people, and you'll see this trend of police pay. It's just part of the environment that everybody in the country is dealing with. The last bullet point is, I think we have to fix, no matter what we do, is fix the fire and the police career parity. And then on your memo, it talks about the dates. And if we arrive at a conclusion tonight, we can probably have the longevity and all the back pay done in November. If it goes past this, we're probably into December. And I would respectfully turn that over to you and happy to address any questions.
Okay, I have a question.
Councilman Estes.
Mayor, Mr. Fires. Does the motion today include accepting the comp study as presented, or have we already done that and we're coming back and just adding to it with police, fire as the options presented?
We would probably want to validate that that's what we're
Study,
doing.
okay.
I think we did, but I think there was some
Same. I'm on the same
hanging
page.
chat
Yeah.
that I think we just need to validate that.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion.
Certainly, Councilman Estes.
I move that we accept the pay study as presented, putting us at the midpoint as presented out with changes in police and fire as presented today within option 2. I understand that that makes career parity for both police and fire. I also understand it moves starting police officers to 55,000 or 59,100. If I get a second, I'd like to talk a little about it.
All right, Councilman Estes, that is a proper motion to accept the pay study with changes in the study as presented under option 2. That's a proper motion. Is there a second for?
Second.
Properly seconded.
Mayor, I've got a question for, can I have a question?
Councilman Estes? Certainly, Councilman Casta.
Joe, on this can be paid through our balanced budget now?
Option 2, we get pretty close.
Yeah.
We can.
Get it through the night hall?
It puts, we just don't want to go back to where we were in
Exactly.
2010.
Exactly.
Everyone agrees on that.
Okay.
I'm very conscious of trying to be very conservative with that. With this, I feel that we could.
We can handle it with our budget?
We could probably, we could probably make that work.
Mayor, also to that point too.
Yes, sir.
Joe, I would like to, in the workshop, I talked about all the employees, Public Works and everybody else. If we can look at that or our next budget year or something.
I would say, and what I said in 3 and 4 is, even if you did this today, it does not mean that you can't come back and do the 70. And I strongly support that we have, for example, you have the people that are out working, doing the fall festival. You have engineers saving us $200,000 out there. I think there's some I think we need to bring a concrete proposal.
Yeah.
And I think we need to strive for that 70% and figure out a way to do that. I don't know if we can do that today.
Yeah.
I think that's very important.
Okay. Mayor, I appreciate the input. And again, what I said before is, Public Works works hard in clearing roads when it's snow and ice for the police and fire to get out. So they are a part of that also. So I would, I'm supporting this bill on this part and moving forward. So
All right.
That's all I have, Mayor.
So we have a proper motion by Councilman Estes, properly seconded by Councilman Casta. Councilman Estes wanted to come back for you for comment.
Yeah, I'd like to make an amended motion.
Substitute motion?
Substitute motion.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Keep it straight. That we go with option 3.
All right, that is a proper substitute motion for acceptance of the pay study changes in study, but using option 3. That is a proper substitute motion by May, properly seconded by Councilman at Large Moore. I'm gonna ask Councilman Moore as the maker of the second. Do you have any comments?
I want to wait and hear what Bill says.
I'm going to go back to Councilman Estes, who was the
Yeah,
maker of
thanks.
the...
My comments have changed. So, option 3, 70% is not moving fire up, it's not moving police up to 59.1.
It is moving up
It's
to.
not, it says 70% for all employees.
Yeah, 70% moves them up to.
Yeah.
I think it's 70% is like 54.6. I think the number.
Yeah, it moves them all
really
up.
close to 55.
I know it moves them all up. It does not move the needle far enough for me. Option 2 helps the police more. One of my other comments was, I really appreciate the pay study, that it splits fire, police, central. I get that, because the markets are different in those areas. It certainly showed it on the data we were given. I'm not even sure that 70% for police is enough, and that I'm gonna blow your minds for a second. Paying them more will save us money. Every time we lose a post-certified officer, we lose a whole lot more than
I
$5,000.
appreciate the police department. They do a great job. And I think we need to look at all the employees.
And we are, and we have, and we will next year. I think market right now, in my opinion, market right now, emergency, got a hole in your roof, police is the hole in our roof. And it hurts the rest of the foundation, hurts the rest of the building if you don't take care of that now.
Could we do option 2 but match fire with the police?
A
Right
hybrid,
now, it's.
a hybrid
option
2
3
is what
the-
you're saying?
A hybrid too.
The motion, I don't know, I mean, the motion is option 3.
I don't know how to do
Yeah,
it.
the motion is option 3. Councilman Castor, you request a comment?
Joe, again, this is within our budget. Do you see us possibly getting through this, adding this, I guess it's another $400,000 to that bottom line?
On
At this
option,
point?
on option 3, is that what you're talking about?
Yes, sir. I hate to put you on the spot on that part.
No, I think it's a fair question. I think the reality is, can we do that? Are we going to be stuck next spring and have some capital projects or whatever that you
Yeah,
don't
that's
think
what
they
I'm
want
worried
to do? Maybe, but maybe this is worth it.
This is worth it.
Mayor?
Yeah.
Councilwoman McKenzie, you got a comment?
If we did the number 3, could we phase that in? Can that be phased in instead of doing it all at once? Could we do like a combination of 2?
Yeah, I don't want to make things, is you could go up to, well, a couple things. Yeah, I mean, you could phase it in 60, you can make it all 60%. And then go up to 70 the next year. You can implement what you have and then just implement phase number 3 on July 1st, which allows us to budget it and work everything out.
David, Dan, I like that, I'm for that 100%, where we have time to look at option 3 and 4 as we build next year's budget.
Well,
100%.
Can we answer my question? Can we
I do.
match fire and police too? Can we tag that
The whole,
to
I don't know what you're asking.
option 2?
So you just have to set a minimum, if I'm looking at option 2 correctly, Joe, Sean, correct me if I'm wrong, it's just setting a minimum for police. So you'd have to come up with a number minimum for fire. And the whole point of decoupling them is, I think, healthy for the city. I think they need to be decoupled because they're different markets.
All right, so let
different
me
expectations.
do a little bit of a recap here.
Let's take a vote on this.
We have a substitute motion by Councilman May and Councilman Moore to accept the pay study with changes in the study as listed now as option 3.
Yes.
Any,
I call for,
Before,
hang on one second, Tom. Bill wants to make a comment.
Ken had before me.
Vice Mayor?
Tom,
It's like Wimbledon.
was your question that if we choose option 3, could the
700,000 versus 1.2.
55,000 in police be added to it? Was that your question?
Me?
Yes.
No, I was just thinking about
I think
the
that was
budget
Dan's
going up.
question.
Okay.
That was Dan on that part.
Was that your
I was just talking
question?
about 700,000 versus,
This 55,000,
Okay, explain it.
is it included in option 3?
There you go.
Oh, I thought someone was talking to me over here.
Is the 55,000 included in option 3?
Yes.
yeah.
It's close.
It's close.
It is, let me give some context. The 70,000 does a reevaluation on all employees and 70%. Does a reevaluation on all of the positions for fire. Fire would be about, their starting salary would go from 47,500 right now to about 50,000 and change. And the 70% would be about 54,500, not quite 55, so that would be about that would be what, 70% in the starting salary. And all the positions would all go up a certain level as well.
So if you added the 55 for the police,
And-
option 3, which you'd have to rework the numbers, but it would have very little effect on it.
It would have no effect. I mean, it might
Minimal.
change.
Okay.
So you could do the 55 and do 70% for everyone else,
So is that,
and you would have very little change,
would that be an amendment to option 3
whatever you guys want to do.
to bring the 55? Vice Mayor, are
Can we
you
start
asking to
over?
amend?
No, we're getting close
Mayor, can we
otherwise.
set this on fire and start over again?
No. All right. We currently have a substitute motion on the floor. It's been motioned and seconded. Parliamentary procedure means Councilman Casta has called for the vote. Is there any additional discussion?
I've got,
Bill had another
Well,
question.
I would like to amend his amendment that we phase it in if we do that, or that we go with what Councilman Webb just suggested versus the straight number 3. Doing that right now.
All right, so there has been an amendment.
She didn't really make one, she was just rambling.
No.
Yeah, no.
Well, I said I'd like to make.
She said, I'd like to make an amendment.
Well,
All right, so the amendment to option 3, and Vice Mayor Webb, I'm gonna have to ask your assistance. She's asking, can it be phased in and the 55,000 that you discussed be worked into option number 3?
Well, I said the 55 was okay because it's apparently coming out very close to that anyway.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is. It's very close.
Still option
Yeah.
3.
So phase
Yeah.
in is her amendment, and you're the Councilman May and Councilman
phase
Moore?
in the 70.
Are you accepting of her verbal amendment to option 3? That's a
don't know
yes,
what it means.
that's a yes or no answer.
it's
How
where
much-
you move a police to 55, from 54 to 55, which is minimum. Everything else stays the same, 70% for everybody else.
No.
I'm sticking with the first.
Hey, option 3
So the-
is going to get
So
the
the-
starting pay
Yeah.
for the police department, very close to what
Yeah.
the number is. But we're giving all the employees, we're looking at all the employees across the board.
And that's what's on the table right now.
So-
That's what's on the table right
Council,
now.
Councilwoman McKenzie,
Phase it in.
and so far there has not been an acceptance of that amendment to phase.
Fails.
Okay.
Any additional comments, questions?
Yeah.
Councilman Goff?
Mr. Fivas,
Yes, sir.
earlier you said that we have enough money in our budget to cover option 2. Do we have enough money in our budget to cover option 3 without delaying capital projects that we have on the table?
No, he can't guarantee you that.
Yes, it makes things tight,
Reserve.
but it's probably worth the investment in our biggest asset.
Yeah, he answered that a moment ago.
Thank you.
All right,
May have to wait.
all right.
Call to order, Mayor.
Let's do a vote.
Councilman Casta has called for the vote.
Yeah.
Proper motion by May, properly seconded by Moore. Option number 3, acceptance of the pay study. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman May,
Aye.
Councilman Moore,
Aye.
Councilwoman McKenzie,
Aye.
Councilman Estes.
Aye.
Councilman Cassidy,
Aye.
Councilman Goff,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Webb,
Aye.
carries 7-0.
Mayor, can I follow up on this?
Yes, Mr.
If you
Estes?
say no, that's fine.
No, you're fine.
Mr. Fivas,
Why don't you say no?
can you present us for the balance of this year, monthly revenue reports versus projected revenue? So we can see where we're running ahead and see how far we get. You know, just whatever our budget is divided by 12 and then say, hey, here are revenues.
Yeah, that's obviously a very difficult issue to work through. I still, even with that, I still think, and I think everyone's gonna be very appreciative
Oh, yeah.
of that. I still think, though, that we're not done with the police conversation.
100%, but I wasn't gonna talk about it today because we're all in such a good mood.
But
I'd like to see like a year-to-date cash, balance sheet really, month to month, because I just, then I can feel better about the cost of this as we build next year's
It doesn't tell
budget.
you, it doesn't, we can show you that, it doesn't tell you the whole story. Because there's certain payments on certain months and all that, but we'll share whatever we have.
Bill, there could be.
Bill, we're extremely close to where we need to be with the police
Yeah,
department.
I think,
I disagree.
Disagree?
I disagree.
Yeah.
This is-
And and the city manager says, hey, he thinks we need to revisit it. This is a market issue.
I think we will probably be made to revisit it. I don't,
Okay, I won't put, I'm sorry for putting words in your mouth.
All right, it takes us to.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. It takes us to item M, as in maybe we'll be done soon. Discussion, adopting the traffic impact study guideline and traffic study pro rata cost share policy. Mr. Fivas.
Rhonda, do you have any, I mean, we're making a lot of decisions here from the HR standpoint. Do you have any concerns with that?
Not right now,
All right, so,
I'm gonna give it the option.
so with that, I just want to make sure everyone's on the same page.
Yes, option 3.
Option 3, that we will do the longevity. That longevity payment will be made in November,
Correct, the first or second week.
and we will do the calculations, and we will get the back pay and everything sorted on whatever, I think it's like November 27th or sometime in November.
Yes.
To the best of your knowledge, in the memo, it said there is a caveat. If there's something that we find that is unforeseen, we reserve the right to make those payments in December. So, you know, they're gonna be put under a lot of stress to get this out. They're more than likely 85% gonna make that, but I just wanna make sure if there's some glitch that we have an issue. Is that fair? So I think we're all on the same page.
All right, takes us.
And one thing, the appeals will go for employees until October 31st. Then it will be closed. And then Evergreen Consulting will adjudicate all those, make decisions, and will be closed out at the end of this month, and then we're done. Hopefully. I'm just making sure everyone hears the whole picture.
Vice Mayor Webb, you're recognized.
Mayor, I think we would be remiss if we didn't say thank you to Rhonda and then the rest of the staff and Joe, the work that has been done on this over the last several months. These kind of projects don't just come together overnight. We thought we had something worked out. We realized there was a problem in it, and we took the time to what we think is a good fix for it. So I just think as a council, we need to tell Joe and his staff thank you for all the time that has gone into this, because it's been very time consuming.
Good words. Thank you.
It's the most important issue for every employee.
Well, sure it
And
is.
they deserve us making sure that we do what we can to get it right.
Sure, but we've had some leaders through it that has worked on it,
Thank
and
you.
we appreciate it.
We appreciate that.
Mr. Fivas, are structures in place where 4 years from now, 3 years from now, this will be a simpler process?
I think with fixing these issues, the persistent issues with the fire pay and what we've seen, I think it will be a much simpler process because we fixed the underlying fallacies of some things that were there, or decisions that were made a long time ago. I think it will be easier to do and implement, because just like in any project or anything you've ever done, if you have bad data, you're gonna have a bad output. I think we fixed the data. I think our data will be better. That's the best I can do.
All right, that takes us to item M, adopting the traffic study impact study guidelines and traffic signal pro rata cost share policy. It was presented today in your packets on page 209 to 237. Mr. Fivas, any follow-up on that?
It's been too long of a day to talk about traffic signals.
Do we want to move this to the next available calendar?
This issue actually, and to boil it down, this issue probably needs to go through our planning and zoning. Let's put it through there. Basically, the simple question is that many communities are doing some level of impact analysis, that if you are doing development and your development is causing us to put a traffic light out there at $400,000, is that there's a formula to assess how much should they pay for that impact.
I need a motion to move it to November 10.
So basically, that's the question. Are we okay with an impact for the developments that are causing us these traffic concerns? David has put together a policy. We're gonna send it through our planning and zoning, and then it's gonna end up here probably in December.
Does it need a motion?
Mayor, I move that we delay action on this.
It's a proper motion. Do you want to put a date on it, Joe? To move it to November 10 or just delayed action?
Yeah, we don't need a date. We'll just
All right.
probably, is that a November thing, Robert?
That's a proper request, Mr. Vice Mayor.
Maybe December? We probably won't see it till January.
Item N is in Nancy, is a request from the consent agenda by Councilman Goff. It was item A on the consent agenda, the letter of agreement which MHM and the Civic Center. Mr. Councilman Goff, you're recognized.
I just want to understand this agreement better. It looks as though we had a contract with UES, which we're assigning to MHM. They're going to then charge a 20% surcharge. I don't know what the original amount of the contract was. I don't know the potential overage, and there's no limit to the amount of funds on the contract that they're able to charge us. So I have a hard time voting for something with no guidelines or no maximum that we can be charged, and I don't understand why we're assigning a contract with one entity to another and then adding a 20% surcharge onto that.
Are you
Yeah,
putting that in
well,
a motion?
I'm just trying to understand it first. Yeah.
So what's going on there
Would never sign a contract.
is that
Do what?
we
I would never sign a
can't,
contract for that.
that we can't, is for materials testing. So the architect goes in and says, okay, well, we need to have a third-party material tester. We can't do it. They don't want to do it because you want to have that third-party standpoint. So if it's ever challenged, is that it's a third party taking the testing sample for that. So that's why it feels a little bit off, is that there has to be this third party entity that's doing that. I did see the 20% upcharge. I will tell you that it was on the agenda and I saw that. I disagree with that, and if you would like us to go back and see what options we have and to answer some of the questions we'd be willing to do that.
Okay, then I'd like to make an amendment that we get the surcharge down below 10% and also include a maximum dollar charge that they can add on this particular agreement before we sign it.
Yeah, I think that I don't know, and I don't know if John knows, if the 20% surcharge is in their master contract. That might be the thing, is when the architects were approved, is this provision was probably already in there, and it may have been that. Let us look at that. If it's negotiable, we'll negotiate. It may not be negotiable, and we'll bring that back. And what was the second piece?
Just to have a maximum dollar amount that the contract is for before we agree to it. I don't know, is it 20% of $1,000 it's going to end up being, or is it 20% of $100,000 it's going to end up being? It's just a big difference, and I have no reference to know where that's going to.
It's an open book.
We'll figure
Really?
it out.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
All right, so Mr. Fivas, that was an open agenda item that was moved off consent to the new business. So what action?
You can just put it back on November 10th, and we'll bring back either a better explanation. We'll have Brian Turner here that can probably answer all the questions with it.
Councilman Goff, is that?
We'll make sure we get all the right information for you.
All right, Councilman Goff, is that okay for your motion?
Yes.
Move back to
Second.
November 10? Seconded by Councilman May, so that's a proper motion to move to November 10 by Goff, seconded by May. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
I'm sorry,
Goff and May.
Goff and May. Councilman Goff,
Aye.
Councilman May,
Aye.
Councilwoman McKenzie,
Aye.
Councilman Estes, Councilman Cassidy,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Webb,
Aye.
Councilman Moore.
Aye.
Carries 7-0.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Item O on the new business is also moved from the consent. It was formerly item I, engagement letter with Miller Martin for Civic Center. Councilman Goff, you're recognized.
Once again, I'd just like to understand this a little bit better. I guess my initial thought is how bad is it if we're having to sign a contract with Miller Martin regarding the Civic Center? Have we had an attorney on this before? Why are we using Miller Martin for this? And, you know, what are the pros and cons? Is it necessary to do this now? Are we at the point where we actually have to start the litigation? Or can we delay this and wait and see if we really need it?
Yeah, I don't think we're anywhere near litigation. What, there, to give you the full scope, and I think we should have talked about this earlier on at our planning meeting. HHM, who's the architect, they do all the due diligence on all of the change orders and things that are coming through. They have there's a set
I think it's
procedure and
MHM.
practice that anyone uses for change orders in the construction business. They have legal counsel. They are challenging some of the things.
HHM,
MHM.
Oh, okay.
MHM.
Saying,
Yeah,
why is our
it's been a really long day.
I know.
And so there was a meeting on Friday that they made some really good progress for what I understand. This item that they have their expert, meaning MHM has their expert, they're the ones that are responsible for that. We want to make sure that if there is an issue, and John and I have talked about this, that you have someone that is representing the taxpayers in the city, is there is not a case or a controversy that we are involved in. We are just making sure that you have your advocate that can come and explain what's going on if it goes another step.
Let me fill in a couple of things here. Why, you asked why Miller Martin. So there's only really one lawyer in Cleveland that can handle the expertise of construction law, and they can't do this because they are with a law firm that is suing the city in unrelated matters. So when Mr. Fiva said to me, we need a construction expert, I said, well, basically there's two firms that are in Chattanooga, and Randy Wilson was my suggestion because he's been doing this 30 plus years in a 45-year legal career. This is his thing. Very, very well respected, very well thought.
Thank you. So my question then is,
Oh, and why do they need an engagement letter? That's a huge law firm.
sure,
They do everything that way. If it was a smaller firm, they might do it with a simple handshake, but they do engagement letters on everything, no matter how simple, and that's their standard engagement.
if we've made progress recently by signing this letter, will they start racking up hours by collecting our information, or will
In
we
fact,
wait
what I would
until?
suggest is, well, Joe's gonna control that because he's dealing with them on a day-to-day basis, and he was gonna look out for your dollars. But you just wanna have somebody with expertise available.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, so you requested for that to be moved off consent onto the new business, the engagement letter, so I will wait for your action, Mr. Goff.
I'll make a motion to approve.
That is a proper motion by Councilman Goff to approve, properly seconded by Councilman Moore. Any additional comments, questions, or concerns from the council? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman Goff,
Aye.
Councilman Moore,
Aye.
Councilwoman McKenzie,
Aye.
Councilman Estes, Councilman Cassidy,
Aye.
Councilman May,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Webb.
Voice is getting weak.
There's 7-0.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. That motion passes. Lastly, we have announcements, which is item 11. With the council's consideration, I would like to make an addition. There is Christmas holidays announced Wednesday, December 24th, Christmas Eve, Thursday, December 25th, Christmas Day, and I would like to add for the staff, Friday, December 26th, to complete that week for the Christmas holidays. Any difficulty with that from the council?
You need a motion?
Nope, we'll just do it.
Just do it.
All right, the holiday schedule, city offices will be closed the following days: Tuesday, November 11th for Veterans Day, Thursday, November 27th, and Friday, 28th for Thanksgiving. We will also be closed now, Wednesday, December 24, Thursday, December 25, and Friday, December 26th for Christmas. Also Thursday, Jan 1, and Friday, Jan 2 for New Year's Day. That concludes our holiday schedule. The next city council meeting will be held on Monday, November 10th. And unless there is additional comments